That's probably better. Sorry, I had my audio muted. We are here from the great breaking news studio here, and we're going to be talking about a rule that has been. Why am I freezing up? Okay, never mind. We're going to be talking about a rule that has been introduced or is going to be introduced, and this is from GOA, who actually got a copy of the rule. The rule basically changes the restoration of firearms. Right now, if you want to get your firearms restored, if you did something not too kosher, or if you are unjustly prosecuted, as Matt Hoover was, you can get your firearms stripped for life. Currently, the way to get your rates restored, you have to get that restored on a state by state basis. So, let's say you live in Virginia, you have to go and get Virginia to restore your firearms rights. In other states, they don't have that, so you cannot get your rights restored. There is a new rule that has been proposed, and it's going to be introduced into the federal registry. That is for the first time in 37 years. It's going to have a federal way to get your firearms rights restored, meaning you don't have to go through any of the rigor mortis, the rigmarole with the states to get your firearms restored. You can just go directly to the federal government and they can restore your rights, which is a good thing. This is something coming out of the DOJ, and it is a change from the bad news that we got the other day where they were arguing that suppressors are not protected arms. But it brings up the question, is this some type of compromise, or is it just something that the DOJ is doing to advance gun rights? I'm kind of curious to see what you think, because I'm not a big fan of Pam Bondi. I'm not a big fan of Trump either, but definitely not a big fan of Pam Bondi. And I'm wondering if this has anything to do with the Trump executive order, because over 30 days ago, Trump gave Pam Bondi 30 days to enact new changes with the ATF and DOJ to stop prosecuting people for their Second Amendment rights. We don't have that report. It was due Sunday, and it was not released to the public. That doesn't mean that the report was not presented. It might have been presented, but just not to us. It might have been presented to the White House, and don't have any we just don't have the information about it yet, and it could be out there, and this could be part of that. I do see Jeff out there saying this has everything to do with Mel Gibson. You might actually be right. So we'll we'll have to see exactly what happens with this, but this is a step forward. Me personally, I believe that once you serve your time or whatever, you should get all your rights back, whether that's firearms rights or voting rights. You should get every right back once you are no longer in prison, because you have served your debt to society. And let me see. Sorry, I have a little spot. I can see my green screen here, but you have served your debt to society, and you should be a full member of that society once you serve your time. Right now, that is not the case. If you look at the Rahimi case, the Rahimi said that people could be disarmed, but they also said temporarily. Right now, the state law says the federal law says you can be disarmed forever, which is probably not consistent with Rahimi. In fact, I'm sure it's not consistent with Rahimi. So this change to allow people to restore their firearms rights on a federal level could be something to avoid a lawsuit with that. We will have to see what happens. But this is a good start, and it's a good move in the right direction from the DOJ. We need to see a bunch of other good moves from the DOJ, including the firing of Michael Simpson, the guy that tries to argue that suppressors are not regulated items, and if you and well, he argued that suppressors are not protected by the Second Amendment. He also said if you protect suppressors under the Second Amendment, you have to protect empty soda bottles and pillows because they can be used as silencers too, which is kind of ridiculous. So fire that guy, restore the rights of everyone who's not in prison to own firearms, keep and bear arms, and stop prosecuting people for unconstitutional crimes, such as Matt Hoover, Justin Irvin, anyone that's been convicted of owning a suppressor without registering it, anyone that's convicted of owning a machine gun without registering it. Free all those people because no crime was committed, in my opinion, because in Madison versus Marbury, they said any law that's repugnant of the Constitution is null and void. And I believe that NFAs are null and void. But yep, that is it. We should get more information in the coming days. It has not been introduced on the Federal Register yet. They got to do a proposed rule, which will be introduced on a Federal Register. And with that, once that gets introduced to the Federal Register, there's going to be a comment period. And I'm sure the anti gunner is going to be commenting out the ass of how the DOJ shouldn't do this. So we'll have to see what happens, but we're gonna need a big push during those comment periods, and then this will be a rule, a DOJ rule. They're actually gonna strip the ATF of having the rule to uh, prohibit people. It's gonna go directly to the DOJ. That's another thing. It's gonna be a DOJ rule, not an ATF rule. So the DOJ is the one that's gonna decide, not the ATF, which is a good thing. Um, but it's gonna go proposed rule, comment period, and then it'll be several months, then final rule, and then the challenges and everything that's gonna pop up in courts because, of course, there's gonna be challenges because groups like Everytown, Brady, Giffords, and all those other groups out there, they do not want you to have your gun rights. Safety Harbor Firearms says it's probably gonna affect minorities more than any group. Absolutely, absolutely. If you look at the restoration of gun rights, you'll notice that most people that get their gun rights restored are not minorities. They're actually white people. And minorities are the ones that usually lose their rights forever. So I would have to agree with you. I think it will affect minorities more than any other group, which is a good thing. Yep. Agorizer says gun control is racist after all. Then Safety Harbor Firearms says, "So the Dems are racist." Exactly. But Polar Knights, our friend from Norway, says, "Who needs Fox News when we have John Crump?" Exactly. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to get out of here. I got to take care of some stuff. And with that, we're going to get out of here. I just wanted to make a quick video to let you know what is going on because breaking news is what I do. And with that, we are out of here. All right. I will see you guys later.